Good morning, guys and dolls, patriots, YouTubers, and just humankind. I've got a bit of a video going up, so I have going to put it up later on. Just trying to, I do the videos during the day, like I know, because people like they can't get out and stuff like that, or going through some stuff, and you're just sitting watching videos. So I do some videos purposely for that during the day, but like the ones I try and like, because on YouTube you can have a look at analytics, it's called, and it tells you when the best time to put videos and all up. It's quite good, you know. If I'm just, like I say, I'm dipping my toe in it, and they say there's a certain time, I think it's around about 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock or something like that. So obviously, you know, this particular one I think is important. It's from GB News, so it is, and I've copied it, you know, so that's the only reason I can do it. It's because they've done it, you know what I mean? This is how bad it is. Yeah, it just sort of basically drops in with everything I've been saying, what I've experienced in life and what's going on with our kids today, you know. It's bang on the button, like, you know. And it's good to be able to bring a wee bit of clarification, because there is such a silence in these things that a lot of people could possibly be thinking that I'm exaggerating. Because let's be honest, when you're talking about 1,200 children in one city, just one city, you got to ask yourself, how is that possible, and is it true? Because let's be honest, you know, it is an unbelievable thing, you know what I mean? It's not so much for us now, because we've lived it for like the last 7 or 8 year, 10 year, you know, because it's been going on for that long, and it's still going on. But they're still investigating as well, historical, like what we call historical. See, there's a lot of sex crimes coming up to the forefront because they happened to us when we were children. And now that we're adults like me now, I'm able to talk about it. You know, you're able to grasp them all in, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's happening everywhere, you know. Obviously, it's not as simple as that, you know. It's really no that easy, like, you know. In a lot of cases, it's no point. You know, there's no point me even talking about some stuff, because it's not going to do me any favours. I'm not going to get justice, you know. Quite a lot of people are dead and that, you know what I mean. There's no purpose for it, you know, and that's a common thread between a lot of young men and women that went through the curse system. You know, they'll be forever. It'll be forever kept quiet, you know, and that's a wee bit that worries me, you know what I mean, because I think I want to get across that you don't have to get justice. You don't need to seek justice. You know, it's like, you know, that we get hung up on that. And I know this might sound strange for some people what I'm saying, but I'm talking about mental health. We get hung up on that pit, you know, and it can hold us down, you know, because if some people never get justice, and if you never get justice and you put everything behind it, then you'll go through life, I don't know how to say it, maybe with regrets, because you haven't lived your life to the full, because you're caught up in this needing to get justice and searching for justice and fighting for justice in some cases. And you know, I just want to say that, like, that is part of it, you know. There's a bigger part than that, you know. There's you, like me, you know what I mean, and like doing this and talking about it, you know what I mean, and having people listen to me about it. That's almost a bit like justice, you know. Just the fact that some people are like, yeah, you know, that's bad what happened, I sympathise with you, not looking pity, but, you know, it is good to get recognition. And like, we are surrounded by so many really, really nice people in the world, and of course there's people out there who are just horrible, and they'll put comments down or whatever, you know what I mean, and they'll try and put you off and stuff like that, you know. But the kind of community around people like us, our community deal with these people. You don't need to reply to their comments. Our community will reply to their comments for you, you know. So if you're ever thinking about doing anything like this, and because you feel like you need to talk about it, and it's a perfect platform, you know. It is a perfect platform to talk about stuff. You can go into X, you can do videos on X. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but this is the thing about social media. If they don't like it, they can scroll on. You get me? It's nobody's obliged. You're not forcing yourself onto anybody. If people want to hear your story, they'll come back and they'll listen to you, you know. And maybe just once, one video would do you, You see the love that you get, you know what I mean? I would share your video and do everything I could for you, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's just the point I want to make. It's just because, like, we've got that Hugh Edwards up in court today, you know? And of course he's not going to go to prison, you know? He's an establishment, you know what I mean? They protect their own. It might be a token, but I doubt it. I doubt it. We'll find out today. But, you know, just things like that, you know what I mean? Because he reminds me of back in the day, you know? I put a post up on X about it. In fact, I put a couple of posts up today because I was affected by it in a way. I put a post up directing it to the politicians, the Labour politicians. It's just a post, not a video, you know, on X, Twitter. And like, so this happens. This is a common theme in life for people like me. You can be fine and brilliant, and even I've got the videos and people so much love and all that. It just takes one wee thing, you know what I mean? Especially in the morning when you wake up. That's a really dangerous time for people. And you put the phone on, have we scroll through X, see if anybody's left me any messages or anything I need to reply to, you know. And then you come across that Hugh Edwards, and you just read some stuff and that, you know what I mean? And you start thinking. And then there was another post about kids going missing, like so many kids, like being missing in somebody's care. And like, obviously it takes me right back to when the kids were going missing when I was in the children's homes. And something that came up in that, in one of the posts I made, like, was, it was the fact that, you know, when we were young kids, this is what I keep saying to people, when we were young kids, we heard the stories. It was almost like we knew everything that was happening. We knew that they were getting taken to places in Westminster and London. We knew there was parties where kids were being passed around. We knew some horrible things. But at that time, we thought it was just stories. But the thing is, long story short, it wasn't stories, it was real. You find out 40 years later, everybody knew about it. MI5, MI6, everybody knew about it. But the point I'm trying to make here is that as young children, 11 and 12 years old, they were brazen enough to tell us, to scare us. This is what will happen to you if you aren't good. This is how brazen they were, you know, and it's like, that brings up so much emotions, you know what I mean? Because I'm looking at it a different way now, you know. I'm not that wee scared wee boy anymore. I'm a grown man, and I'm really angry, you know, really angry. I'm really strong, and I'm really angry. I'm not that little 11-year-old boy that they just fired in with criminals to try and shut me up, you know what I mean? Put me in with criminals when I hadn't committed a crime, but there was nothing. What else could they do? You know, this is what anybody that spoke up about anything. If you were a problem, you know, and I was a wee fat ugly child, so they didn't want me, you know. No, hindsight, you know, but I didn't know that at the time. Sorry, just lifting up a poo. Got my boy out with me. One-handed, guys. So yeah, it is. It's hard. I'm 55 years old, and things that I still see today affect me. So can you imagine what it's like for these kids down in England? They never got any help to start with. Nobody listened to them. Quite a lot of them were put into prison just like me to shut them up. Find a way find a way. You know, they didn't even find a way with me. They just fired me in the jail. They didn't care that I didn't commit a crime. They ended up eventually making a curse out of it. They made a curse out of it because they knew they couldn't get away with it. You know what I mean? And that was a couple of years later, you know. So there's loads of arms and legs, you know what I mean? But, you know, that's it, guys. It's just a wee one this morning to let you know. There's one coming up out this afternoon. Around about 4 o'clock. And it's quite powerful. Okay, thanks, guys.